Happy fucking New Year. Welcome to another edition of Chocobo Chasers. As always, I'm G. I'm joined by the Chocobros, Eric and Dash. How are you guys doing in 2025?
Fantastic, baby. It's a new year.
Hell
2024, best year of my life.
Hell yeah. 2025 is only going to be better. And we left behind a pretty amazing year in the podcast scene. It's definitely been, I'd say, one to remember. And one to remember, obviously, for gaming reasons as well. It was one of the best gaming years of all time. So we've actually got kind of a lot to talk about, and I feel like a lot of it has kind of come up really over the last
week and a half,
even just like 3 or 4 days. It's been pretty wild. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna kick the episode off with a "What are you playing?" We have some also really cool news that we'll be sharing regarding our partnership with Yellow Brick Games, Eternal Strands. So we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But I'll go ahead and I'll kick us off with what are you playing? So we've been off for 2 weeks. We've been not doing the podcast for 2 weeks. I should refrain. I have been off work for 2 weeks. I played a lot of video games over the break. A lot. I finally got the chance to start Dragon Age Origins. This was after a kind of frustrating sequence where I kept trying to boot the game up and it just kept crashing, which unfortunately with older games, they're not always going to be the best optimized for PC. And this game obviously isn't getting support anymore as it's quite a bit older. But I did finally get a chance to start. I'm still pretty early on, but I can already see some of the, I can already see kind of some of the love that the series gets for just its world building, even in the early stages of the game. You're starting off and you're like, I really want to know about the Darkspawn. I really want to know more about this world. And very, very excited to continue playing this. So started Dragon Age Origins, played a lot more Deadlock. Really might be my favorite multiplayer game of 2024. And it's still just in early access. I can't believe how much fun I have with it. In addition to those, I played through, for the very first time, Shadow of the Colossus. Because I've played Shadow of the Colossus, but I've never beat it until now.
The goats, bro.
Dude, the end is so sick.
It's so good.
It
comes out of nowhere, bro. You're like, holy fuck.
Just
messes you up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's really sad. It's really...
Yeah, it's depressing as shit.
But it fits with the tone of the game, though. Mm-hmm. It absolutely, a 10 out of 10 game. Just absolutely so different than, anything else that I've, truly ever played. And I can see so much of, the influence that Eternal Strands kind of took. And Eternal Strands is a lot different than Shadow of the Colossus in terms of, its narrative but just in terms of, the ability to climb, some of the boss battles you get to do in the game. Definitely see a lot of similarities, and obviously we've shared a little bit about that on the show already, but very good things and stuff I'm very, very excited of. Speaking of Eternal Strands, there's going to be a public demo available January 21st. We have actually already played through to this point. We can't talk about it quite yet. Stay tuned, because 2 weeks from now, we're going to have a lot to say. Just stay tuned. I'll leave it at that. But in addition, Christmas came. My wonderful wife got me a few games for Christmas, one of which is Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. It's such a fun game. Definitely. It definitely reminds me of old school Final Fantasy, which I'm pretty sure this actually came out well before a lot of those games. And so you can kind of see where the influence came from. But Square was just killing. Square, obviously is kind of the king of JRPGs. This is really no exception. I just having an absolute blast. Looking from my phone, because I actually made a list of the games that I played, because I knew I'd forget some, and played a lot of Helldivers. I've been getting back into it with the boys over the break, and man, this game is so fun. I seriously cannot believe how much love they've put into this. This game is continue to be balanced, and sometimes in not the best ways. Right now, it's in a great spot, having just a ton of fun being able to play with the guys. Let's see. In addition, played a lot of Marvel Rivals as well over the break. I have my trio I'm set up with. My tank is Magneto. My DPS is Winter Soldier. And my support is Mantis. And I think Mantis is actually probably my favorite character so far.
I'd say Mantis is pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. And
I like Rocket the most. I like riding on Groot's back and, and just fucking dunking on kids. It's so fun.
The teammate, like the team ups that you can get, like with different characters, and those team up abilities are so sick as well. Like Rocket with Punisher and Rocket with Winter Soldier, given like unlimited ammo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's fantastic. Also, Winter Soldier, if you get his ult and you kill somebody with it, he gets it again. I got a 6 time in a row ult.
And again.
Yeah, I was just smashing people. It was insane. Played a bit more Kingdom Hearts 1, Proud Mode run. God, this game is so hard on Proud Mode. I have not played it on this difficulty in so long. Played a bit of Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, which, again, a fantastic game. The Astrobot, which I have sung the praises of this game on this show multiple times. One game of the year, absolutely deserved. Got it for my brother for Christmas because I wanted him to experience it. So Astrobot actually released a new holiday level for Christmas, and it's fantastic. They have continued to just release free content since the game's release. I hope that they continue to do it, and I really hope we get the chance to see some Square characters potentially show up. We've seen a lot of like the newer IPs, so Helldivers, Stellar Blade makes a entrance in some of the newer levels. But honestly, just a fantastic time. I really don't have enough good things to say about Astrobot. And I think aside from that, and Soul Reaver 2. Been continuing that playthrough. A lot of fun. I kind of forgot how much different from like a gameplay perspective the first 1 and 2 are, but again, one of my favorite stories in gaming. Voice acting is incredible, and yeah, that's been my 2 weeks. So I will pass it over to Eric.
So I played a little bit more at the beginning. At the beginning of our break, I was in the midst of, or was about to finish Act 2 of my Baldur's Gate 3 cheap playthrough. We finished it. Man, having 8 party members, I just steamrolled everything in Moonrise Tower. It was so fun. Ketheric Thorn was dead within like 2. Like I had Lae'zel, my character, and then Karlach, who all have 3 hits now because they're level 12 in Act 2. Because of the XP mod I have makes you severely OP. So we all 3 attacked this guy into oblivion. He died almost instantly. Great time. Finished that. Act 3 wasn't my favorite in the game. As much as I liked it, I took a break from it. I was like, I might go back. I might not. Act 2 is just the peak of Baldur's Gate 3 in my opinion. Good. It's so good. So from there, I went and I touched on a game that I put down because they had a DLC come out. Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. CRPG, Owlcat Studios. They make one of my favorites ever. Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Go buy it. You're fucking up if you don't. So I played a little bit more of that. I didn't put a whole lot out. A DLC had come out. I'm too far in the game to get the proper parts of the DLC. You actually have to start a new playthrough. And then I was like, well, fuck, I got to start a new playthrough. Like, I'm going to turn this off. So I turned it off and I haven't been back. So from there, played a secret game that I can't talk about yet. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Wink, wink. Played a good.
I think we're allowed to say we are playing it. We
just can't really talk too much.
We can't show it. We can't.
We'll wait to tell you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Not you guys, the audience.
I mean, fuck you guys sometimes too. Yeah, but that's okay.
And I actually played the shit out of Marvel Rivals as well. Love it. It's so fun. Like I talked about in the playtest, it's great. My 3, Thor, tank. I'm either Hela, Iron Man, or Moon Knight for DPS.
Okay.
And then healer, I'm either Rocket or Loki.
Hela's getting nerfed in the one update.
Storm needs a buff, which I heard she's good now.
I mostly main tank, unless my homie Joe, a.k.a. Witch King, is Thor because he's going to drop a 30 bomb every game he plays. He's the only tank I've ever seen that can kill everybody on the map 8 times in a row and just chill.
So
I must be playing that shit wrong. I suck at this fucking game. I'll tell you that.
Same. Characters getting nerfed in season 1: Hela, Hawkeye, and Jeff the Shark. And then,
dude, if you're a Jeff main, you're a pussy.
Get out.
You are a fucking bitch. You are fucking loser.
The first thing that they made when the models got released to the public was the Hawk curb stomping Jeff the Shark.
Characters getting buffed for season 1. I couldn't believe when I saw this first one too. Venom. Venom is pretty good already.
I think he was a good beginner character, especially.
Yeah. Captain America, which I can definitely see.
Captain America's good too. I've done work with Captain America.
I'm surprised Iron Fist didn't get nerfed.
Cloak and Dagger.
You're also a pussy if you play as Iron Fist.
And Storm and Wolverine are also getting a buff. I agree with Wolverine
and Storm. Both need
absolutely. And then obviously coming first half, we've got the Fantastic Four, which I believe that Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman are the first 2, and then they're going to add the Thing and Human Torch afterwards. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's perfect. I actually got back, so there was a big update came out for this game. I haven't played in a long time. The new update features Post Malone.
Oh yeah,
it's Hunt Showdown 1896. There's a new map. The new update has a circus with all kinds of killer clowns, zombie clowns running around the map that laugh like psychopaths at you instead of like roaring at you. It's fucking disturbing. It's terrifying. The update's great. They've buffed up the graphics a little bit. I think they redid the engine to do this. So the game looks better. The game plays better. They redid the UI. It's great. Hunt's one of my favorite, I guess you call it extraction shooter.
Yeah.
And they've done nothing but improve the game. It's incredible what they've done. Little bit
and
more.
our guy Doug Cockle's in it too. So
yeah, he is. I went back into Crusader Kings 3 just to kill time.
Of course.
I played like 4 different Game of Thrones playthroughs. I'm not going to go into all the detail on those. I pretty much do the same thing every time. I either let Rhaegar live or I kill him. And then I'll do the Dance with Dragons one, and I can never kick off the Dance with Dragons because Rhaenyra and Aegon just don't go to war with each other. So there's just nothing to do from there. Played a lot of Helldivers too the past 2 weeks since the Illumina have come out. Like G said, it's good. The update's awesome. The Illumina are a ton of fun to fight. The new weapons are good. Did you get is it the Wasp Cannon?
I haven't gotten it quite yet.
Oh. My friend team killed me like 4 times with it. It's great. It's awesome.
I had a game where I played with my cousins, and one of my cousins used the arc thrower and legit killed us at least like 10 times.
Yeah, I have a habit of running in front of people when they're shooting, or I'll dive near them. The arc thrower was just people. We just don't even play with it anymore because I just kept dying by it.
It's just like a Tesla tower, basically. Just
I went through it. I had a bunch of super credits saved up. I bought like 2 of the battle passes that were there.
Oh, let's go.
Those premium war bonds are awesome.
Yeah.
And it's just like you can earn the currency in game by playing. You earn more currency when you unlock the war bonds. And then you can keep purchasing it. It's a good system to where you don't have to put money in. You can, but you don't have to. And that's all we ask for. Like, hey, if you're going to put some stuff behind some paywalls, at least let us earn the things to pay for it easily. Looking at you, Riot. But that's pretty much all I played. I did have a kerfuffle that y'all heard about. I decided to buy Madden on discount for PlayStation. I just wanted to play some, now that Madden season's winding down. I did not know that with PlayStation games, if you download it, you are automatically unable to return it. Even if you haven't put any playtime into the fucking game, all you have to do is buy it and download it, and they will not let you return it.
I have had that situation come up.
Stupid.
And then I lied to PlayStation and said I didn't play it, and they did it. So
I told them I didn't. He goes, "I know you downloaded it," and I was like, I didn't download it. I said my nephew did. I don't have a nephew, and he's like, "We're not giving you the money back." And I was like, Cool. So I've played fucking Madden 25 despite not wanting to. And you know what? I actually ended up enjoying it. It's fun.
That's good, at least.
Yeah, it's fine for a Madden thing. It's like your typical bullshit Madden game. You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a bunch
Nothing
of
special,
rookies.
nothing new.
I've got Brian Thomas Jr. I've got Rome Adunza, however you say it. I even
The
got
guy
Quentin
who plays
Johnson.
for the Chicago Bears.
Yes, we know that.
Odunze?
Quentin Johnson, dude, he stinks in real life, but he's pretty fun to use in Madden. He's so tall and he's just pretty quick. But I got Brock Bowers too, just because like I cheated my ass
You're
off.
just putting everybody on your
I
team.
put everybody on my team, all the rookies, bro. I just get these rookies, I build them up, and I trade them for picks when I'm done with them.
And then he just starts the cycle over and over
again. Now, look, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Okay, that's all I'm gonna tell you.
True. This is Madden. This is Eric's world. He can do what he wants.
And that was pretty much my 2 weeks.
Hell yeah. Dash, what about you, man?
A lot of Black Ops 6 because they just implemented Squid Games limited time event and like everything.
Okay.
So like every mode has a Squid Game mode. Zombies, multiplayer, Warzone. It usually involves like red light, green light kind of stuff. And they also have a whole battle pass, a separate battle pass, I should say, for the Squid Game thing that you have to buy. I don't think I've ever seen this for Call of Duty, but then again, maybe I didn't play last year to know if they've done like premium passes for that. But I bought it because the last reward is a frontman skin, and I want that. But also watch Squid Game season 2. It's fantastic. It's pretty much defined my personality lately. I got the Mingle song stuck in my head the whole time.
I haven't seen it yet, so
it's so good. Once you get to Thanos the Great, there's a guy named Thanos, and he's just awesome.
I'm gonna have to check it out this weekend.
Oh yeah. So got a lot of zombies. They have like a red light, green light mode in zombies now. So during green light, all points are doubled, but during red light, you have to stop, or you lose points. And then they also have Deadlight, where zombies are super fast and almost invincible. So you gotta watch out for those ones. The red light is especially hard because obviously when you stop in zombies, you're setting yourself up for easy death. But I think it just automatically... I haven't gotten to round 10. I didn't bother with it too much and just went back to regulars because it got really tedious and annoying with the red light stuff. But also caught some dubs in Warzone. I got back into Warzone for the first time in a while. So it's fun, Battle Royales kind of... you get some friends, Battle Royales are always fun. I don't have anything against them. More Helldivers too. Of course, the Illuminae are fun, but I went back to find some bots.
Yeah,
me and my friends just going around, doing what we can to bring democracy to the galaxy. Got my full Hellghast armor. Makes me really crave for the Killzone to come back at some point, but also did a little bit of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Started Terra's route first. Didn't get too far, but grinding out like all the different finishing moves is going to be the task, because there's one specifically where it only levels up after you take so many steps. So you got to do thousands of steps to unlock that finishing move.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, welcome to Kingdom Hearts grinding, or I should say Square Game grinding.
Yeah.
Because Square Games, especially, maybe not lately, I would say they're not too grind heavy. Well, maybe Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is just chock full of shit, but...
Yeah. Octopath, though, is super grind heavy.
Yeah.
So.
But I was thinking, like, this came out during the time where you had, like, Final Fantasy X, 12, Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, Birth by Sleep. Like, they all have, like, these super long, like, unlock conditions for some of their stuff, and it definitely is a time commitment if you want to do 100% for Birth by Sleep, which I probably will work my way towards. I wasn't dedicating too much time to it. I only got to like past the Enchanted Domain, so it's not like I only played it for a couple hours. I was just like, I'm like, I'll play some Birth by Sleep, but that's next on my list.
Hell yeah.
Finish Prototype, and as in I beat it, but there's still a lot to do, so I still have to find like... I did go through the arduous journey, and this is probably one of my least favorite. I think Prototype has a lot of like the worst elements of an open world game. So, there are 250 collectibles in Prototype, which I managed to find all of them. They don't tell you which ones you've collected, you don't know which ones you've gotten. So, guess what? For these 250, I have to go through a wiki guide and go one by one to each point until I find all of the ones that I'm missing. Which I was, yeah, it was horrible. I'm like, this. I'm doing. I don't have to do it, but
though.
I'm doing the achievement, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I still have to find like the web of intrigue people, the like little ones that you absorb for memories and stuff to unlock like little snippets of the story.
Yeah.
And once I do, then there's also all those little challenges that you can do. I unlocked gold rank for all of those challenges, and then once you unlock gold rank, they're like, guess what? Now we have a platinum rank that you have to unlock for everything, and there's a whole separate trophy for that. So that's going to be a grind. And then, after I do everything in the open world parts of the game, there's going to be 2 achievements I'm going to be missing, and I'm debating on if I should do this. So, there's one for beating the game on the hardest difficulty, and there's another for beating the game without dying. Do I do this achievement on the hard run through, where this game is it is a difficult game. Like, you can cheese it, but it's very easy to die in this game also.
Yeah.
Well, that's an achievement for going outside is what I'm going to do.
Achievement, touch grass.
Yeah, touch grass, nerd.
I mean, I
fucks with Prototype, though. I would play that again.
I can't wait to get to Prototype 2 because that's one I never actually did fully finish. But, I played the shit off Prototype 1 when it first came out, so it walked, like I said, I've used this before. It walked so Spider-Man could run. And you feel like it has a lot of those elements that Spider-Man does have, which is kind of funny. Coincidentally in New York also.
Yeah, Spider-Man's collectibles are so easy though. I will say that like one thing they did really well is they made it really easy to get the platinum trophy.
I feel like, any game that has collectibles, they should tell you which ones you found and which ones you're missing. It'd make it easier to track. Like, I can go back to the Gears of War 1. They at least track it by chapter, and even tell you which collectibles you found in those instances. So it's like, oh, I'm missing this one. I just have to go here.
Exactly.
But speaking of game design, I don't like. One of my friends, he bought me this game called Don't Starve Together. So it's
only one of you starves then.
It's like this gothic horror kind of cartoony survival game, kind of just you're dropped into this world, you gotta collect resources, build your settlements up, and when it gets dark you need light, otherwise you just die instantly.
It's like it's like a Tim Burton game.
Yeah, it gives very good Tim Burton vibes. It's not my kind of game. I told my friend like an hour into playing it, I'm like, I'm not having fun. This is not for me.
Oh, this is actually very cool. If you buy the game, they give you a free copy to share with a friend.
Yep. I mean, it's a co-op. It's meant to be that's the whole premise. It's a co-op game at this point, so
that is cool.
It spun off from just Don't Starve, which was single player only. So then they're like, let's take this and make it multiplayer. So now we have Don't Starve Together, and that's how it came. You have different characters that have different abilities, of course. I didn't get too much into it to really explore it. It's not my kind of game and not my vibe. If it's for you, all the power to you, but it's not my kind of thing. I need direction in my games. I don't just like surviving for the sake of surviving kind of thing. But it is a good segue for the next game that I played, which is called 7 Days to Die. So 7 Days to Die, I probably put like 100 hours in it in this like past couple weeks, but I did manage to unlock every achievement at the same time, which was a task in of itself. So 7 Days to Die, think of it like kind of like it plays like Minecraft, right? You collect resources, all that stuff, build your base, chop down trees, harvest stone, but it's a zombie game. So it's like a first person Project Zomboid, if you ever played Project Zomboid.
Is it kind of, would it be almost kind of like the Forest then? Like,
Kind of, yeah. Yeah,
okay.
it plays much like the Forest. It's just one of those open worlds crafting survival kind of games. Also, kind of like Don't Starve Together, but I feel like it has a bit more direction to it because it has like these challenges. It's like, it'll guide you to like progression. It'll give you kind of an idea of what you should do next. And then there's also these traders that give you quests to like go to these point of interest and do these objectives. You level up and unlock skill points that you can dump into like, you can do more damage with certain types of weapons or jump higher or stuff like that. But it's very in depth because you can do stuff like break your leg, break your arm, and you'll need to like craft a splint to have it heal faster. Then it's called 7 Days to Die. So by default, there's an event called the Blood Moon. So every 7 nights, the Blood Moon event happens, and that's just where hordes of zombies come and attack you, and you just have to survive through the whole night. So I did this whole thing solo in my own world. I just, played it. I played it nonstop, just trying to do like all the achievements. So the most arduous of those achievements were traveling 1,000 total kilometers and reaching level 300. Now, I got to like about level 80 normally and then I was just like, okay, this is taking too long. So I went into the config files, up the XP multiplier, and I reached level 300 much quicker at that point. I went into like the Unga Boonga build. I did clubs, so I had like baseball bats and steel clubs. I made myself a whole set of biker armor. I had built a motorcycle. You could just fits the whole theme of me with Sons of Anarchy lately. So you could have just said I'm like my own little Sons of Anarchy member in the zombie wasteland at that point.
You play tomorrow, so because you're trying to survive to tomorrow.
Speaking of which, I just got to season 4 for that.
Great show.
Oh yeah,
absolutely love it.
But yeah, it's a really fun game. After I did my solo adventure, there was 3 achievements I was missing. It was like basically I had to kill up to 25 other players because it's a multiplayer game. Right. So me and some friends jumped into a server, had the Thunderdome, and just beat the shit out of each other until I got my 25 kills. And then we just also played seriously at that point, which we traversed into the wasteland, which is the hardest zone in the game right off the bat, and built our base there. So there's a lot of death, a lot of cursing, because it's not easy surviving in the wasteland, because all the harder types of zombies are spawning there too. Then we reached the Blood Moon, which was horrible. We died a lot to that moment. But if you really like, Minecraft kind of games and you want it with zombies, I would recommend 7 Days to Die. It finally, it's been out for a while, but I think just this last year.
Hit,
1.0. It's on PlayStation 5, it's on Xbox, it's on PC, you can play on anything. Finally, and this is the big one that's been my addiction, my personality for like 2 weeks now. I picked up Train Card Shop Simulator, which lets you experience the joys of running your own trading card shop. So you can like buy shelves, you buy all the different trading card packs and other collectibles like tabletop games, dice, play mats, deck boxes, and also if you can buy like spray deodorant, and if someone stinks, you can just spray them with it.
I have seen you playing this, and I had just assumed it was like a Pokemon game. Had no idea that
Pokemon
this was
mod for it.
Yes. So the card game they have in the game, I have no connection to. It's called Tetramon. Apparently, it's based off of something from a mobile game that also like Train Card Shop Tycoon. And then they also, I'm not sure if it's the same developers or if this is like the only game they could get the rights to use for this kind of game. Because it would have been really cool if they could have gotten like licensing from like Magic,
Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yu-Gi-Oh,
yeah.
Pokemon, Dungeons and Dragons, all these different like card games. Because I feel like I'd be a lot more invested in the cards I'm collecting. Because like you can collect the cards and open packs, and like there'll be like money values for all the cards. So if you get like a really rare one or really expensive one, like I pulled cards that I could sell for $1,000 if I want to. So you sell the individual cards on like this card table, and people buy them like instantly. I'm like, like no card selling for 1,600 instantly like that. But I guess your customers have bottomless pockets that they can do that. But after I get significantly into it, I'm definitely gonna like maybe install the Pokemon mod or the Yu-Gi-Oh mod just to make it more in depth, or I guess relatable, because the Tetramon cards are very boring. It's like you open the basic packs, which are only basic monsters, and each monster has the same variants, which is they have the basic, first edition, silver edition, gold edition, EX, and full art. And then they have a foil version of each one of those. And then they have the expansion pack, which is literally the same monsters, but with a different background. I'm like, that's kind of lazy. I'm like, how are you going to make an expansion pass and it's just going to be the same monsters that you're selling? But, this is a real world, so I guess these customers don't care. It has a pretty extensive roadmap that they're still implementing, so this is early access, so it's not even the final product yet. But they're going to be doing stuff where you can like host tournaments. Apparently, you're going to be able to play the card game at some point. They'll have card grading, so you could get like that perfect 10 Charizard kind of thing. So it's a really cool concept. It really kind of motivated me to get a bit more into trading card games. So the other day I ended up buying some Pokemon cards, and there's the Gundam trading card game that is launching here at the end of the month, or they're doing the beta first, and then they're doing the full like first release here in a couple months. So I'm gonna try to get the beta set first to kind of get an idea of it.
Hell yeah.
But trade cards are very cool. In games that I haven't played yet, but I did pick up over the holidays, I went and saw Sonic 3, and so I picked up Sonic Adventure 2. Haven't played it yet, but I definitely will be playing it because Sonic 3 got me feeling like, oh man, I gotta play Sonic Adventure 2 again. So I picked it up. It was on sale on Steam for like a few bucks, so why not? And also, a little Christmas gift to myself, I got a copy of Metaphor off of Amazon, so I'll be able to finally experience what all that hype is about now.
You'll have to let me know what you think. I enjoyed it quite a bit, so.
This has come from someone who hasn't fully played like the Persona games, and I know it has like those Persona game vibes to it.
It is, but it is definitely its own thing.
Yep.
It's different. So yeah,
I know I rambled a lot there, but we had a lot to cover, and I know
I prepared myself.
Yeah.
Podcasting
is just talking. So those who don't like talking, I guess
All right. Well, so in addition, obviously, we've been off for 2 weeks. That means it's a good bit of news happening. So one of the things that actually happened, and this happened either yesterday or the day before. So PlayStation and Sony are at the CES conference. And PlayStation's I guess PlayStation Productions is what it's called, is going to be making a lot of investments into media for their gaming IPs. So let's take a look at some of those. First thing that was announced, Ghost of Tsushima Legends. So this is specifically the multiplayer mode for Ghost of Tsushima, is getting an anime series, and it's going to release exclusively on Crunchyroll. I've seen that the art team that's going to be handling, it's going to be directed by Takanobu Mizuno, who did The Duel in Star Wars Visions. Yeah.
Didn't they say it's a 2027 release date?
2027. Too? So we've got 2 years, which don't fuck this up.
Don't be like moving PNG simulator like Uzumaki was.
I know that we're obviously getting a Ghost of Tsushima movie, which was announced quite a bit ago. we had heard that our favorite Shogun is potentially going to make an appearance. He would make.
He just got his Golden Globe.
Yeah, it's time for him to enter the world of the samurai again. So
other guy got the supporting actor,
and then Anna Sawai
seppuku by tomorrow.
And I like how he just says that to his superior like that. He's just like, kill yourself.
In addition, we've got Sony Pictures. This one actually came as a big surprise. Sony Pictures is developing a Helldivers movie. I was talking with some friends about this. They were being a little bit negative because they're like, well, how do you do this? It's like, you could literally
make Starship Troopers
go the route of Starship Troopers, make it a recruitment video. Like, do you want to join the Hell? Okay, Craig.
I tapped Blue Sky. I'm like, he better be getting a role in this.
You need to be the recruiter in this movie. You need to be in the video. It's got to happen. But just like almost make it kind of a satire. It will do insanely well. Just make it fun. That's
just fun, stupid. It's just not meant to take itself seriously.
So this one is not necessarily quite a surprise, but I guess in this format. So Horizon Zero Dawn, if we look back like 5 years ago, was announced that it was going to get a TV adaptation. That's changed. Netflix initially had the rights. I'm just going to say thank the Lord that Netflix is not going to make this now.
Dog shit. Netflix sucks.
Yeah, we're going to get a film. I'm excited for this, but also I don't know if 2 hours is enough time to tell this story. So 2-3 hours, I just don't know. So that's going to be another one that recently got announced. We've also got Until Dawn, which is officially coming April 2025. So Until Dawn is going to be directed by David F. Sandberg. So for anybody who's unfamiliar with him, he directed the movie Lights Out, which is also a very underrated horror movie. Also did Shazam and Shazam 2. First Shazam's pretty fun. Second one, not so much.
So it resulted in a actor ruining his career.
He's just gone down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, dude, what a fucking idiot.
So this new Until Dawn movie is going to be set in the same universe as the games, but I guess it's going to include different characters. So I am happy that they're not just going to retell the same story, especially because you have actors who are very famous. Obviously, Hayden Panettiere, Rami Malek are huge stars, and they also don't look like they're 17 anymore. So it's probably a good thing they're not going to be in this, but I'm excited to see, potentially what comes of this. Like, I go see basically every horror movie that goes into theaters. Saw Nosferatu over the break.
Oh, nice. It was so good. Did you not like it?
No, I loved it.
Okay, I saw your face.
I'm like,
I said nice, and dude, you look like you had to shit you almost shit your pants.
Oh no, I absolutely loved it.
I was about to say, I was like, you liked long legs and you didn't like Nosferatu.
I love Nosferatu. It was like the perfect gothic horror movie.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, it did exactly what I wanted it to, and my wife loved it, so I was super stoked about that. The Last of Us Season 2. We officially know it's releasing in April.
Fuck yeah.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, the PC port is also right around the corner for The Last of Us Part 2. For everybody, everybody's like, yeah, I'm so excited for Season 2. And I'm like, oh, I'm not, but I am. I'm just, for anybody who's played the game, you know what I'm talking about. So it's...
the fact that that first trailer that they released for Season 2, you can hear the hits.
Yeah, it's...
I'm like, no, man.
I have a good feeling, so I think that Season 1 is going to end in the theater. That's my... where the first big confrontation happens. That's just my thought.
I feel like they can fix a lot of things if they fix up the pacing from the game
Well, and
for that.
I don't want to spoil too much, but like I think that you could potentially tell Abby's backstory like kind of in line with how it's progressing, and I think that also it'll build a little bit more support on her side, a little bit more understanding. I think that also television and film fans can sometimes be a little bit more gracious. I don't know what the right word is here, but not being just
It seems like
goons.
consumers of all avenues
Yeah.
are just kind of brain dead at this point.
Yeah, it just I'm not going to disagree with that, but very excited. Obviously, PlayStation is making huge investments into this space, and it's something that we're gonna see a lot more of going forward. This, one thing to keep in mind, obviously, God of War is also getting an adaptation at Amazon. I think the casting on that is going to be so critical, and honestly, Chris Judge would be like, dude is huge. Would not be like a terrible choice if they decided to go that route. I don't know. We'll have to see. I know
Amazon got some work going on with Fallout and Warhammer coming too.
Yeah, Henry Cavill going to be putting his best foot forward there. So, in addition to CES, yesterday, NVIDIA finally released more information on the 50 series cards. And part of that information was the pricing for said cards. And who buddy? So I'll say this. The lower end of the cards, $549 for a 5070, I think is absolutely reasonable.
That's been an upgrade for me already.
And that's the 5070 Ti, huh?
No, that's the regular 5070. The Ti is $749.
That's not crazy, you know.
It's not unreasonable. 5090 is $2,000.
Yeah, it's a
which
lot.
Is just
but they said it's twice
wild.
As powerful as their 4090.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, you're going to have a lot of people purchase these 5090s and they're going to just double their profit right off the bat because that's what fucking happens. It sucks. We're entering kind of a weird space where the last time that we had a card release like this was during the pandemic, and everything was so hard to get at that point. Like, just taking that into account, it should be a lot easier this time around. I do feel like we may potentially run into some like hurdles just as far as like, releasing them to the public. I've been considering upgrading my PC, and a 5070 at $549, like that's a really good price. I really may have to consider it. And almost, it's that dangerous line where you're like, man, do I just start a new build? Like, and I can just base it around this. Because that's kind of the thought that comes in every time, I swear. Yeah, what did you guys think about that pricing?
I mean, I don't have a 4K monitor, so 4K gaming has never really applied to me. But, it definitely opens the avenue for me to upgrade my graphics card at some point to maybe one of the lower models that benefit me better.
Because I don't think they even they're not going to obviously make a 50 or a 5060.
Yeah.
And I think they did make a 4060.
I've never bought an NVIDIA card either. I've always been AMD.
Oh, wow.
I know they... Oh, shit. I know they made
right now I have a 5600 XT, and I've been using that for years.
I just hit my display port in it.
I probably could easily upgrade that to something a bit stronger.
Yeah, no, for sure. So my brother has a 3060 that I was able to get for him. My cards were hard to get. But, I mean, look, I'm probably not going to upgrade this generation. Like, I have a 3090, so there's no point in me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's I feel like that's going to...
It's crazy that I've already had the card almost 5 years, coming up, and into this year it'll be 5 years I've had the card.
And it could still run most things at like pretty beast specs too, I would assume.
Dude, I get like 100, 120 frames on most games.
That's insane.
I run almost everything on Ultra. Insane. Like I run everything on Ultra almost.
That is
the only game I had to turn down off of Ultra was Jedi Survivor because it was optimized pretty poorly.
So. And you're not the only person who's had issues with that, so that's actually pretty understandable.
Especially on PC.
Yeah. it I do hope EA takes a little bit more care when they launch the final game in that trilogy, just because I know that there was quite a bit of technical
Have
issues.
you seen like the hardware requirements for Indiana Jones?
It's
Dude, it's insane.
It's beefy.
It's on Game Pass. I downloaded it. I need to play it.
I don't even think my computer meets the minimum.
I think
Let me
I
go
am
look.
barely at the minimum, but if so, I'm like right at the threshold.
Let me go look real quick. Pull up the.
Yeah.
I might have fired the game up on accident. I did.
Let's see. Indiana Jones requirements. So 64-bit Windows 10. So for your processor, you'd have to have an AMD Ryzen 5 3600 at 3.6 gigahertz or better, or an i7.
Wow.
Recommended
an i7 12700. That's nuts. That's what I have.
I think I'm good on CPUs
I think I have an
still.
i5, so I don't think I'd
3080
be able to run
Ti
it.
is recommended.
Yes, that's
God
the
damn.
one. The graphics card is where it gets like crazy.
Like, I may just wait until they have a console release for PlayStation, and I will just buy it.
Hardware ray tracing required, graphics preset high resolution. That's just for recommended specs. God damn.
Yeah, that's kind of insane. So I'll say this: all of the reviews have been really positive for it.
Yeah.
Like, everyone who's played it said it's great. I had some friends who played it, and they said that, I mean, it feels like an Indiana Jones story, which is some awesome praise. Like, and Troy Baker sounds
He nails
just
it. He
like
sounds just
Indiana
like him.
Jones. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, like how well he did. And I guess that not Indiana Jones, but the other character who was played by Gimli's actor. I cannot remember what his name is in the Indiana Jones movies.
Davis. Yeah, I can't remember his name in the movie.
But his character, I guess, whoever did the voice for that is potentially even better than Troy Baker, like just at the imitation aspect.
We'll see how Troy Baker does with Harrison Ford drunk as fuck at the Game Awards.
Oh my god. That man did not know where he was.
He was just happy to be alive. That man is just going to die, and I'm convinced that Harrison Ford just wants to die in a plane crash someday because he loves flying planes and does so in like the most dangerous ways. He's like 80 years old. It's just,
I love how much he hates Star Wars and Star Wars fans.
Just hates nerds. Like,
I don't know what a Force Ghost is.
I mean, Star Wars nerds are probably the worst of the bunch.
Yeah,
they're just the most passionate. We'll say that.
Wah,
So-
I get to be in an iconic fucking trilogy and get paid a lot of money and be famous. Fucking wah. I'm a pussy.
He gets to be in 2 of the most iconic trilogies of all time. Well, they're not even trilogies anymore. He's been in like 10 movies total. So
Isn't that what happened? Was like he wanted to be killed off, but George Lucas, since didn't he write most of the Indiana Jones movies?
I mean, it was Lucas
I think
films too.
him
So
and
yeah.
Spielberg, I thought.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I read something that Harrison Ford was giving him so much trouble. He goes, "I'll just fucking kill Indiana Jones off if that's how you're gonna be." And he was like, "Well, I don't do that."
So for our final story tonight, we this is actually really interesting. We obviously don't talk a lot of politics on the show, but one thing that we thought was super, super interesting. So Tencent is one of the biggest gaming holding companies in the world. They own so much stock in really so many different companies. Epic Games, Larian Studios, From Software, Ubisoft, and there's others that are kind of just potentially always in negotiations with Tencent. So Bloomberg reported that Tencent, alongside battery maker CATL or CATL, has been added to a list of names that classifies them as a Chinese military company, based on the incoming presidency that we've got. If that doesn't change, could have some humongous impacts on gaming, in terms of being able to ship Chinese-based games in the US, having Tencent-based properties in the US. Eric, I know you talked about that a little bit before the show. This is going. Oh, and Tencent also owns Riot, which makes Valorant, which makes League of Legends, which is
if you ever play
basically-
those, their anti-cheat Vanguard is very intrusive on your computer. It's almost like malware in
Really?
a way.
I had to change something in my BIOS settings for it to even work.
It gets all the way into your computer, and so it's basically they were labeled a military company by the Department of Defense, and they are able to apply to be taken off the list. But they're like what I read. People are worried that it's not going to be taking off the list, and if it isn't, then there's possibility of them being unable to do business here.
And that's obviously going to have a huge impact stateside. And it is fair to call out that Tencent has come out publicly. They've said this is a mistake. They believe that both them and Cattle will be pushing to remove their names from this list. And actually, previously, you've had like Chinese phone makers being added to this list and then removed a few months later. So it's not to say that this is like a kiss of death. As of right now, Tencent's public spokesperson has said that this will have no impact on their business, but they are still working to go ahead and remove themselves from the classification. So while they're saying it has no impact as of right now, that may be true. But going forward, again, that could be quite a just big hurdle in the production, release, and development of games by these companies. So it's going to be something we're keeping an eye on, but absolutely something we wanted to call out. Just one, it's very interesting to see, how we don't see politics intertwined with games a lot, unless it's like, someone claiming that video games made,
culture war shit.
Video games made someone a bad person, or something kind of wildly outlandish like that. But it's just, I don't know. It's two worlds colliding we don't normally see. So it's going to be something we'll pay attention to as we see more information. Obviously, we'll be sure to go ahead and share it here in the show. But yeah, I think that's about everything I have. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about tonight?
Get ready for that Resident Evil 1 remake for the 30th anniversary.
Getting my fingers crossed. When would we get a PlayStation something here? And when the fuck is the Switch 2 going to get announced? Because I'm on Reddit,
everybody knows about
leaks and rumors. Everyone knows everything about this console except
the release date.
Yeah. So Nintendo,
it's like we know what it looks like. We know its hardware capabilities. Apparently, it's like we just don't know. And I'm kind of curious. Are they gonna just call it the Switch 2, or is Nintendo gonna do? Yeah. So they're
the logo has been even leaked. It's Switch with a big 2.
Nintendo usually gets creative with their name, so
they do. Not this time. So I think it's because they want to just brand recognition, even within Nintendo. I think for the Switch is just so heavy into kind of push forward that notion of backwards compatibility, as well as like, hey, you can still play your Switch games on this. That's where that's going to come.
That's the one big question I'm going to have for the Switch 2 is, obviously it will have full backwards compatibility with all Switch games. But what about, are there going to be exclusive games only for the Switch 2 because the hardware capability is only going to be allowed?
There has to be.
Yeah.
You don't want to make the Xbox mistake here where, feature parity between your two consoles hinders. I mean, we literally just had Black Myth's developer.
Yeah, they came out and said that they blamed it on the Xbox Series S.
It doesn't have enough RAM to support like this game, and that's why they haven't released it yet. So for anybody who's...
I forgot that it still hasn't released for Xbox.
Yeah, anybody who's bitching and whining about Black Myth not being available on Xbox,
it's Xbox's fault.
Yeah.
I feel like they have to just make exceptions like they did for Baldur's Gate 3, where, they finally got Baldur's Gate 3 out by, I think they eliminated co-op on the Series X or some Series S or something like that.
I don't know, but
they did something to make it work.
It already pushes the limit on a PlayStation 5 because that's what I played it on, and I know that on PC it does the same thing. I'm sure that an Xbox Series X, which is obviously, I consider the Series X and the PS5 to basically be equal in terms of like compute power, things of that nature. It probably can run on there, but that Series S is just, you're just really limiting yourself. So Microsoft, next console cycle, be okay just limiting yourself to one console. That's what I'd say. I know affordability is great, and I'm sure the Series S has outsold the X like crazy, but you're really hindering yourself here.
You know, Xbox's next console is just going to be a Fire Stick.
I literally foretold this 50 episodes ago, so it is what it is. I think that it will be another console. I think the generation after this one is when they'll potentially look to get out of that. So it's just, internet has to be strong enough for the general public, for streaming and cloud streaming specifically, to be an option.
It's definitely getting there.
We're getting there, but it's not.
But, like, you have to live somewhere, especially with maybe even fiber optics, which you're not going to get in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Exactly. So you mostly have to live in a major metropolitan area. So it's something to watch out for. But I just, we saw this coming. I am happy that PlayStation is not, PlayStation is like, yeah, we love the digital because you can only use our marketplace, blah blah blah. But that physical, like, it doesn't appear to be going anywhere. 2 console cycles from now, who knows? But cool. All right. Well, I think that's a perfect spot for us to go ahead and cap this off here today. Thank you to everybody who's tuning in. We hope everyone had a very happy, safe New Year and holiday. We did. We're excited for 2025. We're excited for, some new games that are coming out this year. Obviously, we talked about it a few episodes ago, some of the stuff that we're excited for. Stay tuned. We're going to have some fun combos here in 2025. So everyone take care, and we will catch you all next time.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. Thank you.